What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Catherine. So I've been married for about 7 years now. My question is more directed towards Kitty. It was a couple of weeks ago on a podcast. There was a young lady who came up who, I guess, like got engaged, and then like a few months later, he broke up with her. And the main takeaway from that was you said his rejection is God's protection. I'm here asking, does that still apply to married people? Context. My husband gave me divorce papers about 2 weeks ago. And so I'm in a weird place right now where I still definitely want to fight for my marriage, and that I feel like it's something that's easily repairable, and he is just done. You know?
I'm sorry that you.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you're going through that. If he made a decision, you have to allow that to be his decision, and you can't punish yourself for that, because God's not going to punish you for somebody else's decisions. But I do understand that that hurts you right now. If I may ask, why is he filing for divorce?
Essentially, he just feels like we're not compatible.
Would you have rather a person feel like you all were not compatible, and years down the line, you all have no type of intimacy, no conversation, no friendship in a marriage, and the marriage is just in a place of marital distress? Would you have preferred to have that just for the sake of keeping him?
I mean, not necessarily. So if I'm being honest with you, that's kind of where we were. But we went through, like, from the moment that we got together, we went like on a debt-free journey. So I'm just gonna be honest. Like, we were very like sacrificing very hard. Like, I was working 2 jobs. We were like just really, really focused on like being debt-free. So in my head, I was like, okay, I'm not necessarily happy right now, but I thought like, okay, once we reach this goal, like it'll get better. We'll be able to go out and spend time together. We'll be able to go, you know, on vacations.
When y'all first married, did y'all bring God into that marriage?
See, okay. We had been, no, listen. So I was raised up in the church, and so we were friends like 6 years before we even got together. So I introduced him to Christ even as friends, him and my family. And so when we started dating, that was something that came up that I felt like that may be an issue. But I was counseled in the fact of that I cannot hold him responsible for things that he just doesn't know. And that, yes, if we're both believers, then we are equally yoked and we can grow together.
I don't hear where God gave you a yes.
You were right. I was 21 and
I understand.
stuck in lust.
And I understand it, but that's the thing. When God is not at the center of your marriage, it's going to fail.
Absolutely.
Both people have to be centering God in the marriage. It can't just be one person and the other person's not doing so, because it'll be imbalanced.
Yeah.
So in this context, it still does apply. If God was not in the center of your marriage and both of you all were not bringing God back into the center or trying to get him to the center, God allowed it to unfold because he was never a part of the plan to begin with. When we do things outside of God's will, and when we do things by our own will and our own plan, it is destined to fail, because that is not the way that God wanted it to be to begin with. I know it hurts, but because you're using that equally yoked very loosely. I don't hear where you are were equally yoked. I'm not hearing it just based off of what you just described. And I don't think people understand the spiritual nature of being equally yoked. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. Mm-hmm. But what I will say to you, right now, because I know you're hurting, and I know it's hard for you to actually receive this, maybe you can pray that God reveals the things that you cannot see. Maybe you can do that, because right now your heart's hurting. And when you're hurt, you can't see what God is doing. We may not ever understand God's plan. We may not ever understand God's timing. But if God says that it was never supposed to be that to begin with, he's going to make sure that it's not that. And if you keep on going back, that's going to be your own destruction. Mm-hmm. What's your prayer life like?
I mean, at this point, we hear. But I will admit that being that I did allow his leadership, the lack of covering, to let me kind of fall back, even when it comes to, I was very active in serving and things along those lines. And I know that when you're single, God isn't like you can, fully just serve the kingdom of God. And I desire to be submissive. So I was very much so just trying to follow his lead and follow the things that he wanted to do, and I do realize that eventually, like I did over time, just kind of loose.
Well, I don't know who he was submitting to. I don't know if he was
He
submitting
was
to God
not.
or what.
I do know that.
Then it wasn't going to be appropriate leadership to begin with then, baby. I know that this hurts right now, but God is near the brokenhearted. So he is right there in your brokenheartedness right now where you are hurting. God is right there. You just keep him there. You stay in prayer, get in your word, slowly meditate and read the scripture so that way you can get closer and more intimate with God. Because in this moment, that's exactly where you need to be. Accept it as what it is. As painful as it is, God is going to walk you through it. That is your shepherd. He is going to walk you through it, and he is never going to leave your side because God is faithful and he is a covenantal God. So whatever his promises were, he is going to fulfill those promises. I always say where God made a promise, he made a way. So if he promised you something, he has a way for you as well. So even in the moment of this divorce, I know it is hurting, but you keep God's commands and you stay at his feet. God bends down whenever you are crying, and he counts your tears and he counts your sorrows and he bottles those up and he keeps those. So you pray to God for God to count your tears and reveal to you the things that he needs to work in you on, okay? I know it's painful, baby. Get in that prayer closet and cry. Let it out, because whatever you sow in tears, you'll reap in joy. And on the other side, there is joy, baby.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your question. We got our next question to the mic.
Y'all got some heavy questions.
I know, I was about to say
today. Jesus. I appreciate that. Thank you, babies.
All right, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Rachel, and hold on, I gotta bring it up. Okay, so I am a mother of two and have been separated from my husband for a year and a half. We've been together for 10 years and married for 7 years. He's cheated on me several times throughout the years, and the separation was mutual, but ultimately he initiated it. And I thought I had forgave him, but when certain situations happen, I found that I have not. How do I forgive something I cannot forget and ultimately move on and find peace within myself? Because I do still love him.
So you want to be with him still? Because you know you can forgive and move on, right? You can forgive and turn a chapter. You can forgive and still choose you. You can forgive and not fuck with nobody no more. All right, so when you say forgive, you mean forgive and stay and give a second chance, right?
Well, during the separation, we tried several times. And those times we tried, he's let me know he's been with other women. And it just doesn't work out. I wanted to try for the kids and also because I do want to be him. But, okay, flesh me want him, but spiritually me do not want him. So I'm trying to figure out how to heal fleshly me so I can move on, because I know God don't want me to be with him.
When you say fleshly needs, you mean you still enjoy being intimate with him?
I have been intimate with him for a year and a half.
Say that again?
I have not been intimate with him for a year and a half.
So what are your fleshly needs and connections to him?
I don't know. I think I'm just I don't like.
You know, they got
like, it could be the kids, it could be like the years we've been together, and you know, I was he did provide for me. Like, I was a stay-at-home mom for 6 years during that time, and he did financially provide for me during that.
So the question is, I want to, so that we can bounce it to the panelists. Mm-hmm. So basically you're saying you want to know, how can you forgive so you can stay? Or right now you want advice as to how to figure out what you should do?
How to figure out on what I should do.
Okay, cool. Anybody?
In my opinion, you sound comfortable, right? And the comfort zone is all nice, cozy, and cute, but nothing grows in the comfort zone. And it sounds for a very long time, you've been very stagnant. If you say that man is telling you now he's been with other women during your separation, it's no different from him being with women when y'all was together. Mm-hmm. This is the exact same thing. He's still the exact same person. So you're going to be walking yourself right back into the exact same hurt. One thing I could tell you from personal experiences, sometimes it's best to move on. And the thing about it is when you reach a point, you look back and say all of it was for a reason. I know right now it seems the best thing you can do is stay together for them kids. But honestly, for a child, the best thing you can do is be happy. Every kid needs a happy mom. They deserve that. And in exchange for your happiness, you're going to trade it for years of misery going forward. So I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, I can't speak for nobody up here. Personally, it's time for you to find you. Move on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was also going to say that oftentimes folks don't want to leave relationships because leaving equates to change. And change then forces you to grow. It forces you to do something different. And it forces you to really see yourself. And you have become comfortable, like Dimitri said, and have developed a norm in this dysfunction, in this dismantling, and in this relationship that has been nothing but deceptive. And so for you to leave means that you'd have to be different. That means you'd have to muscle up. That means you'd have to learn boundaries and self-love and be a different mother and be a different woman and choose different and do all those things. And oftentimes, folks just don't want to do that. And so my question to you is, do you want different? Do you want a healing journey? Do you want to grow? Do you want self-love? Do you want to be vertical in who you are? Do you want to square and stand on it? Or do you want to stay in your dysfunction? To me, it's as easy as which narrative do you want to create and what reality do you want to live in?
I think some of us be more in love with our routine than the actual person. And that's what this sounds like to me. Because don't get me wrong, like love is complicated, but it shouldn't be that much conflict in the will to stay. Now, how we're going to do it, how we're going to go about it, the steps we're going to take, yeah, it's going to be difficulty there. But do I want to be with them? That shouldn't be that hard of a decision. But I think what it is, again, we fall in love with our routine. Like, certain time of day, he's there. We pick the kids up this way. We do this, we do that. We lay up, we watch shows, we do. And that's the hardest part of breaking up, is because every time you go through that day, you start to see those voids of the time we used to spend, or the things we used to do, the inside jokes, the laughs, all of these things. But in terms of the person, I think he's kind of showed you who he is, and I think you know that. But I think the thing you're trying to grasp is like, now, how do I let go of this routine? And that's going to take work, but I just don't want you to stay for the kids. Again, I come from a situation where parents married 30 years. It was toxic every day. It was arguing every day. You know what I mean? And we be thinking that, hey, two-parent household, da-da-da-da. No, a healthy two-parent household is what's going to be most beneficial to those kids. If y'all in that house arguing and it's a bunch of disgust and a bunch of disdain and a bunch of just resentment, those kids can feel it. Like, we really underestimate how kids, like, perceive things, like how in touch with what y'all got going on. You think just because we going in that back room to argue that the kids don't feel that. The kids feel everything. So don't stay in no toxic-ass situations just to say, yeah, I raised my kids in a two-parent household, because sometimes that can lead to the detriment of your kids if it's the wrong situation.
I promise y'all, I'm not trying to keep making this heavy. I'm trying not to. Did you say that you haven't forgiven him?
I thought I have, but when like something happens, I know that I haven't.
That's what I want to speak to for a second. And this is going to be a real mature conversation I got to have with you, because it takes a level of spiritual maturity to understand what I'm about to say. So I hope it doesn't fall on deaf ears. It's the reason why God tells us to forgive. It's not just for the simple fact of giving somebody else power, but forgiving somebody is absolutely freeing, because we hold resentment and bitterness in our heart, and our heart is our soul. And sometimes when God has something for you, it will fall on rocky soil. And when it falls on rocky soil, the blessing that God has for you won't be able to grow and blossom like it needs to, because it'll wilt away because it doesn't have enough moisture. And so sometimes when God is telling us to forgive somebody, it's because he's trying to come in to give you that fertile soil, the ability to be able to grow from it. Whatever God gives you, you got to let go of that resentment and that bitterness. You have to. God is trying to soften your heart. And I know it hurts because he betrayed you and he hurt you. But what if God has something absolutely outstanding? And I'm not just talking about relationships. What if there is a blessing later on down the line for you? And when God gives it to you, you still have a hardened heart. It won't grow. it won't manifest into something great for you. So I encourage you to take it amongst your time to sit in that closet at God's feet, because I've had to do it and it is not easy. Every single day when that anger showed up again, when that resentment showed up again, when that bitterness went in and it showed up again, I went to God about it every single day. Every single time I did, my heart got softer and softer and softer towards that person, to the point that I was able to see that person dead in their face and not care in the world, because I was able to surrender that to God. And you know what God did? Because I went in and I kept being at God's feet, God changed my heart, because he cleaned out my heart. When we say created me a clean heart, oh Lord, that's what that means. God was able to come in and clean up shop. And then when he had the blessings for me, when he was able to sow those seeds, they were blossoming. They were rapidly growing. They were going into something that I would never be able to explain. And maybe that's something that God has for you. And I say that to anybody in this room right now. If you are struggling with forgiveness, ask God to clean out your heart. Say, create in me a clean heart, oh Lord, because I guarantee you, he's going to come in and start taking all those weeds out, all that anger, all of that frustration, all of that disappointment, all that hurt. And before you know it, you're going to be smiling again. You're going to be joyful again. You're going to be happy again. And you're going to see an abundance, an overflow of oil in your life, an overflow of blessings in your life. The forgiveness is not just about that person. It's about you and your freedom. If you want to know where freedom is, let it go. Surrender that to God. Let God have control. It's the reason why we say that God is sovereign. The word reign is in sovereign. So wherever God is, he is going to reign. So even in your heart, he reigns over all of that pain. He reigns over all of that distress. He reigns over all of that betrayal. Let God be in control. Surrender it. And I guarantee you, because who the Son sets free is free indeed. So I guarantee you there is freedom on the other side when you just say, you know what, I'm letting it go. I don't want it to have control over me anymore. And watch what God do in your life. And take that as somebody who's had to practice it day in and day out. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I just want to add real quick. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've never met someone who struggled to walk away from an unhealthy situation who did not have past hurts and traumas that were unresolved. A lot of times we focus on what we're going through or what is very recent to us, but we don't go back deep enough to childhood, to other previous relationships, maybe the first relationship you ever had. And what happens is when we don't resolve these things, that negative energy stays in your system. It stays in your spirit. And now it starts to add to all the new situations and experiences that you have, and it just becomes a bigger and bigger problem. So when you're triggered in that moment, it's not just about him or what he does. It's a combination of a lot of things you haven't released from your system. So you got to make sure that you go through a process of emotionally detoxing, letting it all out, going to therapy or coach, whatever, but you need to be able to speak it out or write it out and get through that process of just getting everything off your chest. As Kitty mentioned earlier, you got to cry, let yourself cry. Let yourself be angry. All these things are emotions and energy that have to come out in order for you to finally move on and detach from these situations.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. I know. What's your name? Oh, can we get the mic adjusted?
Please. Okay, thank you.
All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Rosanna, thank you very much. And so you guys kind of answered my question already with the last lady, Kitty and Stefan. I'm going to ask anyway because I still need a little bit more guidance. So my question is, how do you heal from a relationship that you was very invested in and you ended up getting betrayed in the worst way? With this ending, I've actually struggled with pain that I've tried to bury to move forward. But all that has done is make me angry whenever I think about the offense. So I could be in my room and I could think about like what happened, and it enrages me to a point where I don't even recognize myself. So that's part one of my question.
So I'm sure most of y'all have heard the term hurt people, okay? And so it's very, and some of you may say, well, I've been hurt, but I never hurt anybody. No, you probably hurt yourself. You probably put walls up, you walk in fear, you stop yourself from embracing certain relationships because you didn't want to be vulnerable. There's a lot of ways where you continue the cycle of hurt. But the reason why I started with that was to say, part of the reason why we struggle with these things is because we internalize it and take it too personal, all right? And we don't understand the issue wasn't us, it was them. something in them that was not resolved, and they take it out on us. Like, how many people have had maybe a parent or an aunt or whoever who like always criticizes people, always picking on everything that they do? And the thing is, he or she isn't doing it because they're just a bad person. They're doing it as a defense mechanism. It's, I'm gonna point out the flaws in you before you put the spotlight on me.
Yeah.
All right? I'm gonna hit you before you hit me. But if we take it personal, we now start to hold on to that negative energy, and it starts to spread in other areas of our life. So it starts with understanding, listen, nothing is really personal. And you have to just realize that in life, whether we want to believe it or not, we're all gonna betray or hurt somebody. Like, how many of y'all in this room have ever lied to someone in a relationship? If you don't have your hands up, you're lying right now, all right? So don't play with me, all right? Every last one of y'all have said some type of lie. It could be the smallest lie, it could be a big lie, but the point is, it happens. Do not take it personal. Release that energy, heal from all the things you've been hurt from, and understand better still is waiting for you on the other side.
Question, context. This is a person, a romantic partner you're no longer with, but you're just dealing with the memories of the betrayal. How long has it been?
Officially since August, but
August, so it's fresh.
right, yes, but I've been like leaving the relationship mentally and stuff, so it's kind of, I'd say like the last 6 months, but we just ended officially in August.
So ended in August, and that's why everybody in the room, you got to give yourself some grace. Some things you go through, it's going to be heavy for a little bit. But I'm going to tell you something. At some point, you're going to get over that. At some point, it's going to be a distant memory. At some point, you're going to be happily married with those children and that fence, and you're going to be in your career doing your dreams and everything. And this is just going to be a little footnote in the novel that is your story. And oftentimes, what makes stories so beautiful is the challenges, right? The best books have a conflict. And when you use that conflict to better yourself, let me tell you something. It ain't just a heartbreak that I felt betrayed by. I've been betrayed by partners and this and that. And I'm gonna tell you, there's nights that I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I couldn't sleep, you know what I did? I woke my ass up and gave that energy to something constructive. And so what I encourage you to do in this space, whenever you feel those thoughts and that rage, you channel it in something. Whether that's just going to the gym and hitting the bag, walking on the treadmill. Maybe it can be working on your dreams and your passion, and you're gonna use this as fuel to eject yourself into the new phase of your life. I guess what I'm saying is, August just happened.
Yeah.
All right? And it's gonna feel a little bit of ways. But while it's feeling some ways, let this be a lesson. Let this be something on your journey that propels you to something greater. All right?
Okay.
Who? Thank you for your question.
Wait. I had a part two question, because what you just said. So I consider myself a generational breaker, curse breaker. And so the women on my mom's side of the family, they're single. And I struggle with the fact of being single, because now that I'm out of that relationship, it's kind of hard for me to even like date or look at anybody, because
It happened in August.
I know, but like I said, but this has been like,
Chill. What? Hold on.
wait,
I'm gonna
no.
let you finish.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me take this. The last thing you need to be worried about right now.
right. And I'm not, but I'm looking towards the future. Trust me, I'm not.
No. That's the problem.
Okay.
You looking towards the future instead of dealing with what you got to deal with today.
Yeah.
I need you today to be dealing with you, your healing, your journey, what you know you deserve out of life, what lessons you can learn so you don't repeat those mistakes and those picking of those people. You need to focus right now. You need to meditate. You need to study. It needs to be about you. You can't be about you if you're thinking about a day that ain't even came yet. You thinking about niggas that ain't even here yet.
No, I'm not
Let me
thinking
tell you
about
something.
nobody.
Hold on.
No.
So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
focus on you,
Yeah.
prioritize you, love you, find out what you like, where you want to go, the things you want to. If you keep thinking about niggas, because that's what it is.
No.
Hold on, let me say this. We be in such a rush to get in relationships just to get our fucking heart broken. So what I'm saying is, look, the Bible even says, and I hate bringing this up, but singleness is a gift. Yeah. Our singleness is a time where we can do a lot of the growth because you can be selfish in a way where you can prioritize you. I ask you to love yourself enough to quit cheating on you. And what I mean by that is, instead of giving yourself the priority, you want to give it to a man. Right now, you talked about how you need to heal and how you can't sleep at night sometimes and you're dealing with this anxiety and anger. And in the very next breath, you talk about a man.
That's just me and my fears, and I can just say that openly. Hold on, I gotta just be transparent with myself and be honest with myself. This can sound cliche, whatever it needs to be, but I mean, like, I desire a relationship. I desire a long-term partnership, and I don't want to be alone forever.
Do you desire a relationship with yourself?
I do, finally.
So work on that first.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
And guess what, everybody? That's been another episode of the Tonight's Conversation podcast, live from Dallas. Make some noise!
What's your name? What's your question?
Hello, panel. My name is Runako Hull. I'm from Athens, Georgia, right down the road. Hootie hoo! Okay, guys, I got a call from my daughter last night, and so this is her, because I'm in a happy marriage for 15 years, so we good.
Okay, this is for your daughter. Okay, let's get it.
All right. When starting a new relationship, why do people misrepresent themselves to the person they are trying to date, knowing that without stretching the truth, they wouldn't have gotten a real chance to an honest birth of a relationship?
Because without stretching the truth, I wouldn't have got the chance at a relationship. Sometimes we got to really read this. And let me say this. If I told you the truth, you wouldn't give me a chance. And my hope is by me lying to you in the beginning, you fall in love with me before you see the truth.
Amen.
I want you to fall in love with that mask you met on date 1, date 2, date 3. And I hope by the time I take that motherfucker off, you so in love with who the idea of what you want me to be, that you stay an extra 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Sometimes you marry that nigga. How many times have you met a man's, see, that's one. How many times have you met a man's true self and you said, no, put that mask back on? Sometimes you know he ain't authentically who he is, but you miss the old times, not realizing those old times was the pretend times, was the lie times, was the gaslight times. I guess what I'm trying to say is, in the dating world, there's always gonna be people that lie, because it's easy to lie. It's harder to show up authentically. That person lied to you because they've been lying to themselves for years now. That person put on that mask well before he met you or she met you. They live in that motherfucker. Guess why? Because all my life, I've learned being my toxic ass self chase people around. And I chase people away. And what I'm trying to say is, if we quit, listen, I get it, in the perfect world, you expect somebody to show up honest and authentically. But that's not the world we live in. And I'm not saying date scared and with walls up. What I'm saying is, it ain't getting food that's the problem. It's staying after you got food that's the problem. When somebody show you who they are, anybody else? Or we just cooked a little bit. My bad. Hey, listen, why they turn me up? Why I'm sweating? Everybody else look real good. I'm turned. Lance, did you have something?
Look, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Look, for me, I'm not into wasting time. I put on a mask every day for work. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe in showing up as your real self. You know what I'm saying? If you don't fuck with me, then you're not gonna fuck with me. And let's not waste our time. Let's move on to somebody who will fuck with me. You know what I mean? So it's so much freedom, huh?
It's so much freedom.
It's so much freedom in being yourself and knowing that somebody is there for you. Like, it's just freeing. That's all I got.
Hey, shout out to that. Do we got our next question? All right, what's your name? What's your question?
I'm Pilar. I'm from Brookhaven, Mississippi. My question is, my best friend of 10 years went behind my back and started dating my ex-boyfriend. Should I beat her ass today or tomorrow?
Today.
She said, should she beat her ass today or tomorrow?
Do it today. Get it out the way.
Today or tomorrow?
Today. That
Don't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. Just do that shit today.
Hold on, Toya.
I just feel like that's not your best friend, so I wouldn't even started it my best friend, because your best friend know better than that. Like, your best friend is not going to deal with nobody that you have dealt with. That's somebody who want to be you, who wants your life. So beat her ass today.
Yandy, okay, you got an opinion about this?
Listen, my girl Toya is right. That was never your friend, because she been studying you for a long time and studying your man. But here's the thing, for going forward, don't let your past hold you down from the one that's gonna hold you down.
Woo.
You beating her ass. What about the new man? Where's your new man at? Because he's gonna have a problem with the fact that you out here fighting for your ex.
True.
It ain't even worth it. If he could do that to you and she could do that to you, leave them both where they at. Okay, dead and stinking. You don't need none of it.
The toxic in me and the tequila is saying beat her ass, but the right thing to do is to leave her in the past.
Leave in the past. Don't let your past hold
That's
you
the
down
right
from
thing
the one
to
that's
do.
gonna hold you down.
And that's what I did. It actually happened in April. I went on with my life and got a new man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Now, you know what's so strange, not even strange, what's so troubling about that? Is now I question everything about our friendship. Those times when I called you crying about how hard my relationship was, and you was telling me, leave him, you deserve better. Was you doing that because that was the advice, or was you doing that because you wanted me to leave the man you secretly wanted to be with?
In a sense,
When I was texting my group chat talking about how good the dick was you happy for me? Or was you, Trill, what's up?
You are 100% right. And I feel like that's the problem.
Yes.
Y'all be running y'all goddamn mouths too much about relationships.